Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Joe Hinz. I'm the Director of Project Development for a company called Red Leaf Pulp. Red Leaf Pulp is looking to establish a non-wood pulp mill in southern portion of Saskatchewan, and we are going to be using wheat and durum straw in order to make a market pulp which can be exported around the world. So we are going to spend some time talking about our project today, and also identifying opportunities for growers and local business to be involved as we develop the supply chain for cereal wheat straw going forward into the future. Myself, I have a background in the ag input industry and the grain industry as well. And I would like to spend some time and introduce you to Martin Pudlas. He's our CEO of Red Leaf Pulp with a vast experience in the wood pulp industry. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Martin.
Yeah, thanks so much to the organizers of the Canadian Farm Show and for including Red Leaf Pulp. Red Leaf Pulp sees a tremendous opportunity in the Canadian prairies to create alternative fibers, egg-based fibers that can compete in the wood pulp industry. And by way of background, I spent over 3 decades in the wood pulp world. So certainly a big change for me coming into the sector, agricultural sector from forestry. But hopefully today will give you a sense of the tremendous potential that we see for a feedstock that is largely being wasted today. So this new venture has made me realize that there's a really compelling story for Canada to step into the production of egg pulp fibers. The reality is that other jurisdictions in the world have been doing this for quite a while. And so we're looking to establish, optimize, and scale up production levels to ensure that we can be profitable in a North American business environment. So by way of introduction, who are we? Red Leaf Pulp is an entity that has been established by a company called All North Consultants. And All North has worked in the wood pulp industry for many decades now, but more recently has done just shy of $30 million of design work in the egg pulp industry globally. So Red Leaf Pulp has now developed a proprietary and cost competitive process where we're going to be able to take waste wheat straw today and move it, create a product that can make sustainable paper and packaging products. So think about replacing styrofoam clamshell containers. Think about corrugated boxes or folding box board. Think about e-commerce and the box inside the box that arrives on your front door. Those are the types of products that we can make from our pulp. As Joe said, we're going to be located in Regina. To give you a sense of size, we're going to make 182,000 tons of product a year. We have a very unique process that's lower in capital costs than typical wood pulp mills. And as we go through our presentation today, you'll get a sense of the tremendous sustainability story and the lower carbon that's involved. When you think about freeing up cellulose fibers, wheat straw has roughly half of the lignin of wood. And lignin is really the glue that holds those fibers together. When you pulp, you have to chemically and mechanically treat it to solubilize that lignin to free up the cellulose. So tremendous advantages in terms of energy reduction in making this type of pulp. And so today, we're seeing a large pull-through already from the market that we'll speak about. People are very hungry for this type of pulp, and it is very comparable to hardwood pulps and will work very well in concert with softwood pulps that are largely made in Canada. So today we're going to step through different aspects of our project. I'm going to concentrate on the offtake and what the market is for pulp, and then a little bit about the regulatory sustainability story. And then Joe's going to walk you through the feedstock and how we see the next couple of years moving forward and how growers can participate with us. So largest surprise to me coming out of the wood pulp industry is the potential for wheat straw and really any cereal grain straw. And fundamentally, when you look at pulp properties, one of the largest aspects is something called weighted average fiber length. So it's the length of the fibers, and generally, when you make something out of these, there's a network of fibers and they overlap. And the more fiber to fiber contact you have, the stronger the product will be. So it follows that if you have a longer fiber, you're going to have more fibers crossing. So this table on the slide shows you that when you look at South American eucalyptus, where countries in South America have completely changed biodiversity, they have planted cloned eucalyptus forests, monolithic, and 100% purpose for pulp. You can see they make a 0.73 millimeter fiber. Wheat straw, on the other hand, close to 1 millimeter. And when you think of some of the more conventional pulps we make in Canada from spruce pine fir, those are very long, slender fibers. And so generally, our fibers are going to be used in a recipe with Canadian pulp and going to compete against South American eucalyptus pulps or other hardwoods. To give you a sense of the market that we're moving into, really very, very large market. So there's roughly 200 million tons, air dry metric tons of global pulp production today. It generates about $365 billion of value. So when you break that out and look at the percentage of that global pulp that comes from egg fibers, it's about 6%. So think about 12 million tons globally. But the majority of that fiber is integrated. And when I say integrated, what that means is they make the pulp and then they move it into an end product, some kind of a paper product, right in situ. So there is also market pulp where people just make the cellulose, they hydraulically press it into a bale, and then they ship it to a third party where it's converted. So today, agricultural pulp fibers are virtually 100% integrated. Our model is going to be to create a market pulp so that we can move it to places around the globe so it can be converted by others that have that expertise. So we've got a tremendously large market that we can move in. We're going to be very uniquely positioned. And today we're getting very good response already. We've run pilot tests, so we've got our pulp samples, we've moved it out to converters, and it's run very successfully. So one of the things that's driving the demand for these egg fibers is carbon. And so today, when you look at the different pulps that are made, you can see on this chart whether it's a chemi, thermomechanical, a lot of electrical use there, to sulfate pulps, which are thermal and chemical. Our pulp is on the far right, the little red tab, and we're anywhere from 50 to 83, 85% lower in carbon. What's not included in this is the fact that the carbon associated with working the acres in terms of equipment, we're actually going to drop the amount of fossil fuel that's going to be required with our pathway. We have an opportunity to take some of the byproducts and create a fuel that could be used to displace coal in the province of Saskatchewan. And one of the big differences, as compared to tropical hardwoods that are being produced, we represent no change in land use, no change in biodiversity, and we support the food chain, of course. So the other thing that has really driven our carbon lower is the fact that wood has just north of 50% moisture, where wheat straw, is more kind of in the low teens. So in terms of our aggregation of that straw, we're moving a lot less water than you would typically see in feedstock supply for wood pulp mill. So in terms of the opportunity for Canada, we see a tremendous opportunity here for the growers in terms of maximizing crop value. We see a great story around sustainability. and moving the Canadian prairies ahead from an environmental perspective. Diversification. Pulp in over 3 decades never had any of our pulp products exposed to tariffs. So really diversifying the agricultural sector into products that foreign government policy doesn't impact the marketplace is going to help diversify. Focus on green energy industry, helping Canada decarbonize and really be a global leader in ag and alternative fibers. So, the IP created here is all going to reside in Canada, and we're going to be a first stop, certainly in Canada. And so it highlights innovation, and certainly with the backing of All North Consultants, we're well positioned to make that successful. So the other piece of this is a lot of high value jobs that we're going to create. So we're very excited to talk to you more about our project, but at this point, I'll hand it over to Joe, and he'll run through the feedstock aspect of the project. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Martin. Yes, I just want to touch on a few items and expand on them, as Martin has mentioned. We are going to have a lower carbon footprint compared to current pulp that's in production. And as Martin mentioned as well, utilizing the feedstock actually is going to result in less fuel being used by growers instead of the current practices that they're using. So again, it's just another attribute where it's going to be a benefit to farmers, not only from the carbon perspective, but also from fuel usage and an expense perspective as well too. So with that, it supports the current agricultural cycle as well. There's going to be no change in crop rotations. It's going to provide increased revenue to growers as well. And it's going to be a solution for current residue management issues that still currently happen in today's agricultural practices. And it's going to also contribute to reduced disease pressure as well too. So there's lots of benefits from the agricultural standpoint. For I guess using straw in our processes. So enhanced utilization of technology, current optimization in technology in agriculture as of late has really made a big impact in this area. We can utilize in-season crop monitoring, using high-density balers with RFID tagging to record weights, dimensions, moistures. We can also add preservatives. We can also use that technology for the logistics and the location of the feedstock, and also for payments. So, utilizing the technology that's currently available in the ag marketplace will definitely help with inventory risk management and the overall management of our project. It'll just make it that much more efficient. So, and as well, financially stable. We're going to offer advances to growers before the harvest season to ensure that we will come and pick up that feedstock, and we will not leave any unharvested windrows. Definitely that is an issue that growers have expressed to us, that they want to ensure that is being addressed. So one unique feature of our project as well too is we're going to also have final payments on our straw that we're going to collect from growers. And we're going to index the straw payments to the sales of pulp and our other byproducts that we're going to produce at the mill, in order to give the growers an opportunity to participate in the revenue that we will see from the operations of our facility as well too. So, and lastly, it's going to create an opportunity for growers and other business people in the area to partner in development of the supply chain, both from the custom baling, from logistics. It's going to provide an opportunity for growers to utilize their staff for a full season. There's going to be no off season for them as well, so that they can keep their manpower utilized all season long instead of the peak season. So So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for growers if they wish to participate and be partners with us in our projects. So we did initiate a study looking at the potential feedstock supply in southern Saskatchewan. And we have determined that there's more than ample amount of feedstock in the province, or in the southern part of the province, to support our project. When we look at it, the availability of feedstock in different zones, we looked at it in a 40-kilometer radius, 80-kilometer radius, and 120-kilometer radius of our location. And when we look at the 120-kilometer radius, we only need engagement of less than 10% of the growers and the land base in that area in order to make our project feasible. So there's quite a significant opportunity there for the wheat and durum straw, and there's an ample amount available for our project. So it's really quite compelling when you look at that in that perspective, where there's there's going to be a significant opportunity to add value to something that's currently presenting some challenges and issues to growers. So, as Martin mentioned, the LCA impact, when you compare our how we anticipate our project to what's currently happening, you're going to see a significant reduction in fuel, which is also going to have a reduction in the carbon with the project as well. And that's definitely a benefit and an advantage for our process going forward into the future. So the next steps, project timing, we will make an announcement on our site in the very near future, most likely in June of 2021. We anticipate construction to start on our project next spring, in spring of 2022. And we anticipate our project to be completed and commissioned by the fall of 2023, potentially leading into the spring of 2024. So growers are going to hear from us very shortly. Once we have our site confirmed, we will make press releases. We will do the community engagement functions, and of course, participating in Canada's Farm Show, growers will hear a lot more about Red Leaf Pulp going forward in the future. So, when will we need straw? We will start aggregating straw in the fall of 2021. A small amount will be aggregated and stockpiled, so that we can look at doing some testing on the storage of the straw, and just to see how that reacts to the winter conditions, and so that we can use it as a benchmark for future storage operations that we have. We do have that straw in place and secured already. We have made arrangements with growers to supply that with that amount. So our significant amount of straw we were going to look to gather in the fall of 2022. We estimate a volume of 50 to 100,000 tons. And of course, that's going to be based on the results of our storage trials that we do this fall. And that'll determine how much straw we're going to look at for future uses. The reason for that is we anticipate that we are going to have to take a multi-year approach in order to aggregate and to compile the amount of volume and inventory we need for our facility. So a couple of years of head start will definitely be required for us in order to have the amount and volume of straw that we need to operate our facility on a full year basis. So how much straw is required? We will require 300,000 tons of straw, of wheat and durum straw per year, and approximately 50,000 tons of flax straw as well within our operations. So, and preference will be given to growers that are early adopters, and will be looking to sign a letter of intent and a memorandum of understanding with us. We are going to be looking at targeting growers within the 120-kilometer radius of our facility. And like I mentioned earlier, if we stretch out to that radius and distance, we will need only less than 10% of engagement within that radius for our straw needs. So definitely we want to create some urgency from the growers. We've got more than enough straw in the area to draw from, but preference will be given to those growers that see the opportunity and sign up with us earlier rather than later. So. Also, we're going to be working closely with growers that can provide custom baling and logistics services. Those side businesses are going to be very important to the operation of our facility. So we definitely want to grow that piece of the supply chain and ensure that that gets developed alongside of our project as well too. And also, we are going to be looking for growers that can provide satellite sites and manpower to operate satellite sites. We anticipate we will have from 5 to 6 satellite sites located around the area of Regina for our project, and that's where we'll be storing our full year's amount of inventory and at the different locations to ensure that we're addressing risk management and we do not have all of our inventory in one location due to for risk mitigation due to fire and other issues. So contact information, you can contact myself, Joe Hinz at Red Leaf Pulp, or you can give me a call and you can view our website for our contact information as well too. And we are actively out talking to growers starting this spring and this summer. And we look forward to working with you and partnering with you with our projects. So thank you very much.
Bread, crackers, energy bars, waffles, omega-3 eggs, pet food, and more are connected to Regina. What do they all have? Flax. Canmar Foods is the largest flax processor in North America, traceable from the farm to your breakfast. From Regina, we make things tastier. We are growing the impossible.